The heart spirits ask for help. Heart then began to talk about the heart spirits of the rainbow. Heart said that most of the green rainbow spirits had indicated desire to receive us, and that he would like them to be present with us now. I indicated my acceptance for this, and as though they had been waiting in the wings, the green spirits appeared around us. Their presence felt good to me. Our sunny meadow was now wreathed by a glowing forest of green. Even the shadowy greens had a cool and good feeling to them. I revved up my light a little more and watched to see how the green spirits felt about it. They had a good response to me, and I felt they were open to receive me. I asked the green spirits to tell me what problems they were having. Some lost will immediately took in the impression that I had invited the green spirits because they were having problems. The green spirits wanted to focus on something more positive than this fear, and so they started out by saying that they were grateful for my presence and that they loved Heart also. They did not mention the mother or the father of manifestation. I told myself it was because they were not present, but something in me was made uneasy by their tone, as though it was all going to be downhill from here. I told myself that I needed to hear them no matter what they were going to say. The green spirits had feelings of rejection that they wanted to talk about, but they had a problem coming forward with everything they felt because they were afraid of receiving my rejection. Heart had been a spokesman for them, so I had understandings of how they felt, but Heart wanted me to get the full picture from them. He could see now by their hesitation that they were not going to give it to me. The green spirits were having problems with the mother and the father of manifestation that they needed to mention, but they were too uncertain of how I might take it. Heart tried to speak for them when he saw their hesitation, but his guilt told him he should not bring it forward if they were not ready to bring it forward themselves. Heart decided to broach the subject by saying that he was feeling better in the company of the rainbow spirits than he had been feeling on his own, because he had been suffering from what felt like an imbalance between the mother and I. He said that he did not like the feeling he was having because he was not receiving as much light as he would like to have. He said that he had called me in because he could not be much help to the rainbow spirits when he was suffering from a lack of light himself. Heart then indicated that he felt guilt for being in the place the heart of the rainbow spirits should have. Heart indicated willingness to give his place to the green spirits, but the green spirits said they were having a good time receiving the light from where they were. They said they were very much enjoying it, that Heart had called this gathering because it was giving all of them a better opportunity to receive light than when they had been mixed in with the other rainbow spirits. The green spirits indicated guilt for having said this, but they were having the same feelings many of you have had when you have wanted to gather together in the woods without other people around who you feel do not seek the light you want to have. I'm going to give the green rainbow spirits a name now so that I can refer to them more easily. I'm going to refer to them as the Ruow, which means that their location in the spectrum of light is green. The Ruow then told me they were still experiencing rejection from the other rainbow spirits, and that even though they had tried to follow my earlier advice, it had not really seemed to help. When we tried to love everyone more and wait for them to love us back, the Ruow said, it didn't seem to help, If anything, the other spirits got more angry at us than they already were. Maybe it was your expectation of getting love back that made them mad, I suggested. I noticed the Verdaloka grew darker when I said this. I sensed I had made them mad and that they were trying not to let me know this because they were afraid anger would be interpreted as not being receptive to me. I gave the Verdaloka the impression that I did not mind their anger, but that it was impossible to pressure others to be more loving than they were. Lost Will received some misunderstandings here that need to be mentioned now. First of all, anger was again seen as not loving and as something that loving spirits had to learn to tolerate in others without allowing it in themselves. This patronizing attitude toward anger has turned it into rage. Heart spoke for the green spirits again and said that the Verdaloka had fear that they were not getting the flow they needed from the other rainbow spirits, and that it was very hard for the Verdaloka not to pressure the others to give them what they needed. Heart then said that earlier they had all felt hatred passing through in overwhelming waves and that they were all afraid of what it meant. Heart said that it had felt like annihilation to them and that that was another reason he had called for me. Heart said that he and the Verdaloka felt like they were being annihilated when they didn't get the flow of love that they needed and that they didn't know how to proceed. I could sense the Verdaloka's fear then even more strongly than their anger, and I now wished that we could have gatherings such as this to give receptive spirits the light they needed so that they would not have to worry about what happened to them the rest of the time. What I didn't realize was that they needed this light all the time. I also did not realize that guilt was making it impossible for them to receive all of what they needed even now, and that its increasing presence was going to make it increasingly difficult to gather this way anymore. The Verdaloka heard my thoughts, but were more interested in why I thought they could not make the others give them what they needed. They have to want to give it to you, I told them. Lost Will received the fear here that there was something wrong with them because the other rainbow spirits didn't want to give them what they needed. This guilty fear of unworthiness has affected the Verdaloka from the beginning, but has been overlaid by the guilt they felt about blaming others. The Verdaloka felt defensive and had anger and blame toward the other rainbow spirits. But here's what guilt caused them to say. We're not angry and we're not blaming them, but the other rainbow spirits are very greedy and possessive of what they have. They don't want to share with us, and they don't include us in their inner circle. As far as they're concerned, we're outcasts. We can't make them give us anything because everything they give has strings attached, and we don't want that. We want a free flow. Heart felt guilty again that he also was wrongly placing the Verdaloka on the edge of things. He tried again to change places with them, but the Verdaloka wouldn't allow it. They told us it was not the same thing to be shoved out as to move back by choice. We questioned their alignment with this because we were sensing the presence of lost will, whether we knew it or not. Because the emotions didn't move here, the patterns described have remained the same. Lost will, therefore, has continued to hold the image that the way it has been is the way it is going to continue to be. I had evolution in mind when I said that spirits could not be pressured to be more loving than they were, but lost will took this statement to mean that it was not possible to make more love happen. The misunderstandings around heart presence have caused the Verdaloka to remain apart from the main body of rainbow spirits. At the time of Jesus, many of them were Essenes. The rainbow spirits have not evolved into acceptance of their manifested heart presence because they have not yet accepted themselves as they are. The Verdaloka have felt rejected because they were not any more accepting of their true feelings than were the rest of the rainbow spirits. What they all need to realize is that heart will be manifest with them as soon as they have enough self-acceptance to realize that all their essence is loving. The biggest problem for the rainbow spirits has been that they have judged and denied themselves extensively for having emerged where they did. They had begun vibrating in response to what was happening around them with strong enthusiasm to emerge, and then immediately felt they had responded to something for which I didn't have full acceptance. Since it was not clear exactly what all my displeasure was about, the rainbow spirits felt paranoid. Ever since then, most of the rainbow spirits have felt more comfortable in the presence of their own kind than they have in the presence of other kinds of spirits. But some have not felt comfortable even when they have been alone, because they have a feeling they're being watched by me. This has not let the rainbow spirits have peace within themselves, and it needs to move now. The rainbow spirits began manifested existence by vibrating strongly enough to emerge in response to the Mother of Everything and the Father of Manifestation. They responded to the intensity of feeling and colour. They emerged in great excitement and had felt that I was strongly present for them. No matter how well they have hidden it, the rainbow spirits have a lot of emotion to move. They have terrible fear, shame and guilt, and a terrible grief over being who they are. This all needs to move. Underneath these emotions, the rainbow spirits have denied rage and blame toward me and anyone else who has ever deemed them. This also needs to move and clear now so that the rainbow spirits can feel more light coming in from finding self-acceptance at last. Along the way, the rainbow spirits are going to find that they had an original lack of self-acceptance that exactly matched mine. Understanding will allow them to experience blame and guilt in their proper perspective as flip sides of one another, and allow the rainbow spirits to take responsibility along with me now. The problem has not been a lack of love, it has been a lack of recognition for the many forms love could take. Judgments were made, especially against certain emotions, which made the things judged against appear to be unloving and unlovable. When heart holds back response to anything it feels or receives, it cannot do the job of joining spirit and will.